Welcome to The Economy Magazine. I'm Benjamin John Alfares with an in-depth look at new developments in the global economy and the financial markets around the world. Today, we look into the immense potential of the UAV market, and we check out the tourist industry in the Maldives. First, headlines. We begin with the Economics Nobel Prize for 2013, which was awarded today.
This year's prize in economic sciences is about predictions. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has decided to award the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel 2013 to Professor Eugene Fama from University of Chicago, USA, and Professor Lars Peter Hansen from University of Chicago, USA, and Professor Robert Schiller from Yale University, New Haven, USA. And the Academy citation runs for their empirical analysis of asset prices.
Schiller, one of the most prominent economists in the world today, predicted the expiry of the 2000 stock bubble and the housing bubble of 2007. Fama coined the efficient market theory and is considered the father of modern finance theory. And Peter Hansen is best known for his macroeconomic analysis of financial institutions and their economic impact. In Israel, Facebook acquired Tel Aviv-based mobile analytics company Onavo for between $100 and $200 million. Onavo will become the anchor for Facebook in Israel, the first office in the country. Onavo's application shrinks and optimizes mobile data usage, allowing for 2 to 3 times more capacity. The application is directly in line with the Internet.org initiative promoted by Mark Zuckerberg that seeks to make mobile internet more affordable in developing countries. As the budget impasse in the U.S. continues, markets worldwide are starting to suffer. With only 3 days for the government to raise the debt ceiling, financial markets are wary the world's largest economy might default. International Monetary Fund Chief Christine Lagarde said American lawmakers risk causing another global recession if they let politics get in the way of raising the country's debt ceiling. And in China, higher vegetable prices helped boost Chinese inflation in September to a 7-month high. China's consumer price index rose 3.1% from a year earlier. Food prices were up 6.1% as compared with last year and were fueled by a 19% jump in fresh vegetable prices. The government has set a 3.5% upper limit for annual inflation and has said it will weaken price increases as needed. The industry of unmanned air vehicles, or drones, is one of the jewels in Israel's crown of invention. Like many other military innovations, the drone industry has also successfully been transplanted to the civilian sector. The following report by Daniel Roth has more.
The rise of the use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, or drones, as a weapon of war over the last decade is controversial to say the least. Nevertheless, the industry is growing into the civilian sector. Commercial use drones took center stage at the Paris Air Show, and as the advances in drone technology are rushing forward, demand is rising. The industry is experiencing a shift.
Business is going great. What's really exciting right now is the industry is changing. It's going from a predominantly military market to opening up for other market segments.
The potential non-military uses are many. Everything from crop dusting to search and rescue, and highway patrol to tracking people down. And some solar technologies are making the idea of drones powered by the sun instead of fossil fuels a distinct possibility.
We're seeing incredible advances in agriculture, public safety, and industrial applications.
Israel is widely seen as a world leader in the development of drones. One report notes that Israel exported more than $4.5 billion worth of drone equipment, operating systems, and weapons between 2005 and 2012, compared to under $3 billion exported by the U.S. during the same period. Some analysts suggest that the military technology that got a kickstart in Israel's 1982 war in Lebanon could replace pilots in Israel's Air Force over the next 50 years. There are predictions that global spending on drone technology for military use could rise from around $6.6 billion in 2013 to $11.5 billion in 2022.
The plain fact is that this technology is here to stay, and its use in theatres of conflict is a reality with which the world must now contend.
As well, some estimates suggest that the industry, when accounting for the potential growth in civilian drone use, could be worth between $55 and $62 billion per year by 2020. Lobby groups such as the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International suggest that the industry could be worth up to 100,000 jobs in the U.S. alone by 2025. But fears abound. From unknowns about filling civilian air travel space with the UAVs to the loss of privacy that many fear with constant surveillance vehicles surrounding them. These are just a few of the obstacles the drone industry has to tackle. Added to this, the number of civilian casualties due to drone use in military conflicts are unknown because much of the information is classified. When asked about drones, official answers often lack specifics.
I'm not in a position to discuss specific intelligence, but we believe that this threat is significant and we are taking it seriously for that reason.
According to the London-based Bureau of Investigative Journalism, the number of civilian casualties in Pakistan alone has reached at minimum around 400 and could go as high as over 800 since 2004. Though the UAV industry is on the rise, between civilian casualties, U.S. military targets that include U.S. citizens, and the disquiet felt at the thought of drones flying overhead, a number of questions remain for the burgeoning business.
Joining us in the studio now is Nadav Ze'evi, UAV analyst, and Alon Unger, UVID conference chairman. Mr. Unger, so could you explain how this industry has changed?
I may say that this whole market has changed in the last year. We can analog it to a basketball play, which you come and see, and you see that all the actors has changed. Your team has changed as well. The basketball is not rounded anymore, and even the courtyard is not the sizes. For instance, what I'm speaking about is the arm race we are heading right now. First, there are new actors in the market. We can speak about China, Iran, and even Russia is a new comers to the market. The second thing is that there is a change in the actors today. US, which is leading the market in 70%, probably will be approximately 40% in 10 years. Part of this is going out of Afghanistan. The new market that emerged, for instance, the South America market is emerging right now. The third change is a change in the counter UAVs. Okay, we can see terror use of UAVs, and we have seen 5 of these in Israel in the last year. Mm-hmm. And also technology is completely changed, which is small is better, and there is a move from civil technologies to military technologies, vice versa. We can also see the cyber issue enters in the UAVs as well, and today you can use a €300 Hoover in order to operate for yourself, and this is part of the market as well. At the end, the issue of the law and ethics comes to the courtyard right now, where everybody speaks about. This is what brings us to the understanding that this is a change. This is an arm race.
Okay. Well, Mr. Ze'evi, what can you say in terms of the different players here? I mean, we just heard that essentially the U.S. is the largest player, even though, if I'm not mistaken, Israel was the biggest exporter of goods. Who are the players? Who are the main players, and who do you see being the main players in the future?
Well, if we take we make some kind of a cake, we have like the Americans nowadays have like 70% of the market, and the rest, the 30% rest, is all other countries. When we look at the data in the last 8 years, from 2005 until today, we can see that Israeli export was something like $4.6 billion. And the American export outside of the U.S. was much less, was like half, was something about $2.5 billion, which made a lot of noise in the world because everybody was saying Israelis are exporting more than the Americans, but people are forgetting that the American companies were heavily selling to the U.S. market, to the U.S. Army, and we can see now that when they were pulling out of Iraq and now from Afghanistan, there is a decrease in this market, and the American companies are making much more effort to export.
So taking over, maybe?
No, it's not taking over. The American emphasis now on export is actually harming the Israeli. One of the battleground we can see in France, where we have an Israeli UAV, a Heron from the Israeli aircraft industries, against in the fight with the American UAV, and that's one of the. That's a changing market. We can see changes all the time.
Are there other players that are coming into the market, maybe from Asia?
Yes, we keep an eye on the Chinese. What they're doing, the Chinese, in the last 40 years, they started to reverse engineer drones that fall into their hands during the Vietnam conflict. And nowadays, you can see them working on all the spectrum of UAVs, from mini UAVs, hand-launched, really tactical UAVs, to UCAVs, to unmanned combat air vehicles. They're really working on all the spectrum. We can see products emerging from China. They have the ASN 2006, which is a good tactical UAV. They have other projects which are similar to Western ones. We have the BZK program, BZK 005, which everybody says is like a copy of the Heron. We have another project which is like more a copy of the Predator and the Raptor. And I believe that soon we will see systems. You know, you sell them by system. System is like ground station with 3 birds. It's a system. We will see cheap Chinese system. They will not be in technology like the Israeli, as sophisticated. There will always be a gap. But I don't know how long. We can talk about maybe 10 years gap of technology, but it doesn't matter. There's a very good system. They will be cheap. They will be doing the work, and that will change the market.
Actually leads me to another question, which is, in terms of application, obviously there's increasing civilian application, or at least it's spoken of. Can you say something about that?
When we speak about civilian application, we shouldn't speak about just one use or one just market. We can speak about homeland security, which is not, let's call the market non-military issues. In non-military issues, we have 3 segments. The first one is homeland security issue, which is usually done by the authorities, but we have the word security inside. The second one would be civil authorities missions, okay, like meteorological issues, mapping. These things are led by the authorities, which are usually federal authorities, but not security issues. The third one is a commercial one, which I think you spoke about this one, but this one is one to wait. Yeah, or it takes a long time to do it because regulation, certification takes much longer, and the gaps are bigger. But anyhow, if you look about the economical issue, this is the biggest market. If you think about 10 years from now, I don't find any reason why there will be no cargo aircraft, commercial cargo aircraft which will be unmanned. The regulation are just things to handle, but this is the future.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mr. Unger, Mr. Ze'evi. Thank you very much for your comments. The Maldives have long been praised as one of the world's most exclusive holiday destinations, but a decision by the first democratically elected government to allow locals to open guest houses for foreigners has allowed for the entrance to a new kind of visitor, the backpacker. More in the following report.
Famed for its luxury resorts on private tropical islands, the Maldives is a place where the well-heeled get away.